Hello, my name is Josh Carlson, and tonight I will be reading The Liberation Logbook. The Liberation Logbook, a collection of artwork, battle logs, and stories from the board game Too Many Bones. Written by James Boulier, illustrated by Anthony Letourneau. Prologue. The Deepwood, an uncharted and ominous place that claims the entire Midwest region of Daylor. This seemingly untraversable forest encroaches upon the very edges of the Cibron River. Isolating much of the northern hemisphere, one ancient path winds its way through her darkened woods, yet some would insist that it is even more perilous than the woods itself. A shroud of mystery fueled by tall tales has kept the Deepwood and those that live inside it safe and unknown to the rest of Daylor for centuries. This is, however, no longer the case. As the leaves turn, a new cycle begins, and with it comes a stirring in the north. Day by day, the Deepwood is becoming corrupted, morphed into something horrible, spoken only of in legends. This veiled forest and those within are becoming overrun by an ancient foe known as the Ebon. This impending threat has forced Deepwood inhabitants out of their primordial cover with no other choice but to take shelter within the walls of Obendar. You are one of these refugees. Due to your reclusive lifestyle, many in town are encountering your race for the very first time. Some in town believe you to be an elf. Due to your distinct facial features, others would say you're a goblin from your size and build. Others still would insist your high technological aptitude proves you are a gnome. But only those most intimate with the Deepwood know your true kind and kin as Gearlocks. Big-eared, thin-bodied creatures with a conflicting love of nature and machine, and overall an insatiable thirst for adventure. Gearlocks are an old race, and your numbers have dwindled over the centuries to less than 100. The Council of Eight, made up of elder Gearlocks, know the Ebon and the dire threat they present. The Ebon are a melting pot of lawless creatures, ruled by tyrants, each with a firm stranglehold on various regions of Daylor. Because each of these regions has little or no communication with one another, it is the Council's belief that a smaller party will be the most effective in overcoming the threat by systemically infiltrating and removing their leaders. They have selected your party of adventurers and have tasked you with venturing northward, to silence the Ebon for good, one tyrant at a time. This was never your task alone. Others were sequestered, but the Obendar militia is thin in ranks, and any sellswords worth hiring have been already swayed by the promise of plundering rights if they aid the enemy. But no matter, for you are Gearlocks, and being the resourceful and fearless race that you are, your party has happily accepted this challenge. You will be among the first to travel north in many decades, and your adventure begins today. To Council Elder Gavincog. Hold on. Gearlock voice.
To Council Elder Gavincog. As you requested, I have informed our party of the importance of individual accounts during this first week. However, I question why my report alone does not suffice. Be that as it may, I will collect your reports by week's end and send them by way of Gilly's Hawk. After that, we will have ventured too far north for any reliable means of communication with you or the rest of the council. I must warn you, some of these companions you've chosen are not well spoken. Tantrum seems to grunt more than speak, and Tink is constantly stuttering and muttering. I don't have much confidence in their written entries. I will try to set the proper tone and example by going first and maybe even using it as a reference. I'll begin my report this very evening, and with the Cibron River not but a day away. Picket.
Liberation Log, Day 2.
My chest is swelling with pride. Of course, I'm sure everyone expected success when you seated yours truly at the helm, but it is the team that shone today. They displayed what a prepared and determined team can do under the leadership of a confident strategist. Suffice it to say that Deepwood's future has been entrusted to the most appropriate mind and hands. Bring on the northern threat. I'll match their force. No. I'll thwart their intrusion with the same contempt and flair seen in battle today. Where they have size, I have speed. Where they have numbers, I have strategy. Where they have power, I have invention. Some artists paint on paper. But the battlefield is my canvas, and my teammates are the strokes of my brush. It is true, a few skirmishes went a little off script, due to overenthusiasm of some younger and more zestful members. But rest assured, honorable council, that for generations to follow, songs will be sung and bedtime stories written about the deeds we are set to accomplish in the coming days. Today, I would like to commend Boomer and Tantrum, whose off-the-rails approach, albeit somewhat naive, was both effective and colorful. I'm sure in the days to come, these journals will prove and provide the talents and merits of the rest of our illustrious troop. We are aware that the road ahead becomes ever more perilous the closer we come to the treacherous north. But the new landscape and its encounters only serve to sharpen our mettle, heighten our senses, and secure the unity of our resolve. Every battle is both an opportunity to design a more memorable and predictable next encounter, and a knife in resolve to our mutual enemy. We see our destiny approaching with every inch of forest left behind, but our nemesis will not see us coming. They will only hear of the valor and the might of what comes to meet them. And what of tomorrow? I say, one more time, into the fray.
Logbook, Day 2 and 3.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Everybody say yee-haw! There were bodies diving behind boulders, launching into the great oaks, and sprawling into all kinds of twisty pretzel contortions. That was more fun than Initiation Day back in the Deepwood. Good old Tink didn't let me down either. I don't know what the mechanical thingamajig he added to my grenades was, but wow did that pink mushroom powder go off like a stink. Can I say stink? I did. Deal with it. Ugh, I have to take a few deep breaths and say something useful here, right? I just felt so alive being back in the woods so close to home. Okay, so I got a little excited and spent my supply a little early in the mashup. But my buddy Tantrum, he had my back. I grabbed that little spark plug by the one good horn on his head and launched him into the upcoming band of, well, I can't really say what they were with all the new intruders breaching our forest, but it doesn't matter. Tantrum knocked them down like he was bowling for toadstools, and I know what to call them now. Sport. Yeah, it was a good day. But we're still close to home and had the advantage, and
Pickett knew what the layout was, and we could count on Gilly to have an ear on what was approaching. It won't be all kickins and lickins the further north we get. Leaving our familiar woods behind, the more I think of it, I'm almost hesitant to leave that stinkhole city that was our makeshift home. I think I'll just follow Pickett's lead on this one, and I'll just not think, just do. Boomer.
Required log entry. Day. ?
I must remember to remind you that the council, that is, that I didn't need to be here in the first place. I committed to my duty, but my mini-mechs are capable, very, very capable, I say, to take my orders, your orders, my orders, somebody's orders, on the field, and, well, act accordingly. Oh yes, the day. How the day went? Well, it went smashingly. Smashingly, is that such an unfeeling thing to say about a day of battle, isn't it? Well, is it? Maybe not. But it was a sight. It was a sight. Gearlocks and mechs side by side. I couldn't be more proud of my little guys. Oh, my little mechs. I mean, not you little guys. And don't tell Tantrum I said that, because he'll get the wrong idea. He's so touchy. But the day, right. Ouch. Ow. That's where I put your little pincher. Okay. One of my spider bots is lost a leg today, so sometimes I feel like Patches, repairing parts, and organic or mechanic. Truth be told, it was Tantrum that hit the little bugger. Got in his line of sight, I suppose, but that was Tantrum's fault. He should have let my mech do what he was programmed to do, and there wouldn't have been any need for Tantrum to be there in the first place. Now, would there, little fella? And I'm not talking to you, the council. That is, one of my little bots just came over for his missing pincher, hobbling left and right, but he didn't make it. He is determined. They all are. You can count on them. That's what I was saying. That there's no need for me to be here in the first place. Or at best, I can stay back at the camp and remotely fiddle with whatever. Or maybe I could rig up a thing or two. With this gear, and then a sprocket, and then the plug of the team's ears. They could go in and then give the mechs the new commands, and then on the go, and yes, no, and what am I supposed to say here anyway? We showed up, people fought, my mechs did what they were supposed to do, and some people died, and some mechs were damaged. But no, don't worry. We still have plenty of constructions here. I can rebuild on these things, and on the fly, I can just pick up scavenged parts. So if Tantrum would just stop dismembering them, I got to get back to work. Tomorrow is coming quickly, and I'd like to hash out my plans for this very new remote control command override gizmo. I will, Tink.
Logbook thing. Day 3.
Pardon the food stains, but fighting makes me hungry and thirsty. I'm sure I'll be unconscious before I get this stupid thing written. If this juice is what I think it is, good old Patches. What can I say? I might be small, but I fill the shoes of 3 of you. And it does work up a mighty appetite, so you got something to say about it? And while we're talking, what's up with Boomer? Tossing me around like a common wood dwarf. Talk about invading my personal space. Taking advantage of my rather low line of sight. Why, I didn't even see her skinny arm reaching down to lift me up. I should have lifted her up on the end of a good old helmet horn. I was about a half a mind to do that after I shook the stars out of my landing, but those good-for-nothing dirt kickers softened my fall well enough. Boomer would line them up and I'd knock them down. She'd shoot the first one and I'd clobber the second. Now, if Tink would just learn to keep those meddlesome mechanical contraptions out of our way! I can barely see over the top of them. It's fine enough for him, huddled behind some boulder or piece of deadwood.
I guess it did end up all right. I must have looked rather heroic, soaring through the air. Wind rushing through my broken horn and howling like a wild banshee. Power axe glistening as the sun hit the power core. Tink made the thing big enough that I wonder what those vermin saw coming first, me or my wondrous axe of destruction. That's right. Fear me. I'm coming for you and whatever goodies you've got stored up. Tantrum, the harbinger of doom.
Liberation Logbook entry, day 4.
I never understood the supposition that a field medic ought to be a wet nurse. My profession has more to contribute than the patching of various boo-hoos and missing parts, while friends and family rush toward ultimately bad endings. The human doctors have a saying, do no harm. Well, we Gearlock practitioners are more practical. Oh, did you see what I did there? I made a funny of the word practice, and my friends say I am without humor. Don't worry, you'll get it eventually. But I digress. And I do so loathe digressing, almost as much as recording these verbose scribblings when I should be seeing to those runny noses. While I dress wounds and reset broken bones, I merely patch Gearlock meat for the grinder. Medicine can be an act of neglect on the battlefield. I must remind the council that this is not my first performance in the theater of war. So, the logical solution, the only solution that sees my compatriots avoiding further critical distress, is to put my bone saw to better use. That is, by removing our opponent's ability to walk, swing, or breathe in the first place. One of them saves 3 of us. Now that's good medicine. Oh, unscrew your judgmental faces and grow a set of ear points. Medicine both heals and prevents, and this medic would rather err on the side of severe prevention. I'd sooner drop a 5-foot giant with a poison needle than wait to fix whatever atrocity he has planned for one of ours. Besides, it would be a quick-acting poison. I am ethical after all. In such light, it was a good day. Any day my tools of employment are visited upon the enemy, as opposed to my friends, well, that has the makings of a good day. And fear not, there were still plenty of runny noses to wipe and adrenaline shots to satisfy your squeamish stomachs. Surmising by the eclectic band you all have consigned to picket, the days ahead will see plenty of opportunity for both compassion and extreme prejudice, soothing ointments, and more aggressive amputations. And if I have any influence in the matter, I'll be saving the ointments for our team. This entry is finished. I have a bone saw to sharpen. Patches.
Logbook, day 5.
Quiet. It's finally quiet and still. No one is jumping from behind trees or bushes. No one's waiting to ambush a mile up the path or appearing from behind dark shadows. Only earplugs left to put in and a heavy cloak to roll up in. Then I'll find some hole to fill. I know, I can't. I've got first watch, and second, maybe third. It's not that I don't trust the others to defend the perimeter, but they are a little short in the ear, and in too celebratory a mood. Now's not the time to celebrate. It deafens the senses, dulls the defenses. A bottle of ale can mean the difference between hearing the enemy a mile out or not until he's stabbing everyone in their sleep. No, not a good idea. I might be quick with the bow, but that's leaving too much to chance. I don't like chance. It's fine. I need Tink to tune up my mech leg anyway. It was a little stiff today. A lot of good it is to spot a troop of whatever a couple miles out if they overtake me as I'm hobbling back to camp on one leg. Besides, I have a reconnaissance mission first thing in the morning. I'm sure Patches can cook up something to keep the cobwebs out tonight, and a booster for the morning. We'll be good to go. After today, I want to scout a little further out. There were too many surprises. Sure, everyone fought well, better than expected actually, but readiness is better than blind reaction. A few more traps along a wider perimeter are sure to calm my nerves a bit, unless they do something completely unexpected. Luckily, Pickett is more than capable of turning a little information into, albeit flamboyant campaign, but a successful campaign all the same. Well, I can't be divided in my attention on what to write when there's so much to get ready for. Not to worry, I've got our bases covered for tonight, and the group will be ready for the coming battle. Every skirmish betrays the enemy's tactics, and the earlier I can get my ears on their business, the better the blow we will deliver. Gilly.
Liberation Logbook, Day 6.
Yeah. I know. I'm late to the party, and from what it looks like, the last entry. I'm just hyped. I've got invited to the party. Okay, technically I wasn't. Actually invited. More like a party crasher. But I've come dressed for a good fight. Come on, when I overheard the council mentioning that the middle of the show was going to be the bit that's tough, and that you were so concerned for the gang, and okay, maybe not so worried for the gang as much as worried for the future of the Deepwood. And maybe you and the other Gearlocks didn't exactly know I joined the party. Well, surprise! You should have sent me from the start. It is your own fault. Did you really think that I'd let my gal Boomer get thrown to the wolves and not be there? Whatevs. Boomer and I haven't been apart on an adventure since never. At least, not since our ears were bigger than our arms. I mean, where do you think Boomer got her name? And wouldn't anyone live with a name like Nugget if not given between sisters? Okay, maybe not actual sisters, but as close as you can get without bleeding the same blood. I mean, that girl can make things go boom. Nugget, though, sounds like something Tantrum would come up with. But we were kids. Sounds like a name that would have suited him instead. But I get it. I don't think Boomer ever sees me without a sling or bolo in one hand and a pouch full of anything I can find, or to make shoot from it. And when I started adding explosive nuts to the arsenal, and she was all in my face like, come on, give me a try, give me a shot, Nugs. Forget I mentioned Nugs. I'll stick with Nugget. I can't wait to see them. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that, didn't I? I haven't actually joined the party yet. I've been picking off a few scouts from behind cover. I think Gilly caught a glimpse of me once when I was like way over there. And I pinged an orc, a scout, and the snout. And then I ordered one of Tink's spider thingies to check out my cover. And luckily I was faster than that. But I couldn't resist sneaking into camp last night and swiping this logbook for just a sport. But I have to show myself tomorrow. Yeah, I'm running out of food and the fight is getting pretty thick. I haven't seen Boomer yet or Patches, but I've certainly heard her aftermath. I can't wait for tomorrow. Nugget.
Liberation Logbook, Day 7.
That's it for entries. I'm sending these 2 days later than intended. While I don't condone Nugget stalking us, I do agree with her. She should have been around with us from the start. As it turned out, she arrived just in time to warn us of what she'd seen from the foothills. For the past 48 hours, we've had nothing but wave after wave of happenstance encounters. I hope my sarcasm is clear. Something is not right. These trees are crawling with goblin scouts, and every access point to the river, this stretch of Daylor, is being watched. I'm not liking this hawk's chance we have of reaching Obendar. You said this was a secret mission, right? It's as if we've been blowing trumpets every step of the way for all the low-life ebon fodder that's already crossed our path. I mean, no disrespect to the council, but someone knows something more to this story than I do. I don't care what the council decided was our best route. My team is in danger, and I've decided we are going to alter our course. Don't worry, we will still fulfill our task, but I'm going to take some precautions I didn't think I'd have to. Picket.
Well, that concludes our reading of the Liberation Logbook journal entries. I will never do this again.